to make today? Let's make some ATC cards. I'm no expert at all whatsoever on what an ATC card is, apart from that it is 2.5 by 3.5 inches little piece of art. Now art is subjective, so my art is today mostly going to be gluing things on. And I recently had this prompt in a Facebook group to do some ATCs, which stands for Artist Trading Cards, and the theme is winter. So these are the 3 that I've made for that prompt, and today I thought I'd just follow on and make a few more, because when I send in my swap I might add a few bits and pieces, but I'm not necessarily going to use winter for these ones. I've just thrown some supplies on my desk that I started to gather when I was using the winter stuff, so most of my supplies are white. There's a bit of green, and I've pulled out these 2 stamp pads from Stampin' Up, Early Espresso and Cajun Craze, and a couple of stamps. Oops, they're not the pictures. There's the pictures over here. They're also Stampin' Up Serene Silhouettes. I may or may not use them. I'm not sure where we're going. I'm just winging it today. My name's Sunny from Sunny Snaps Art and Crafts. I'm on Facebook. Follow me on YouTube. And I try and attempt to do a lot of creative things. Started with junk journaling, so there's a fair bit of junk journaling. And then a few other bits which you can use in any of your crafts, any of your paper crafts, scrapbooking, junk journals, whatever you want. I just go with the flow. So to start with, I've got these pieces from a chocolate wrapper. So it's a cardboard wrapper, not a paper one. It is a fairly heavy card, and I've cut those down to 2.5 by 3.5 inches, and that's what we're going to use today. And I thought I will decorate the coloured side. One thing I don't like much about using this cardboard wrapping is that it's quite shiny. So usually I will sand a bit off. Do I have some sandpaper handy? I don't think so. Just use a good glue. If you gluing onto a glossy side, either sand it or use a good glue. So I'll use my Tiger glue today, which is this one here. I've decanted them into small bottles. I've picked out a few words to use. Creative, you're amazing. Create your own sunshine. Focus, beautiful day. Obviously I'm not going to use all of them. Leave a little sparkle wherever you go. Be positive. These are words I've printed out on my computer and my printer, just using this is a light cardboard. This is on coffee dyed copy paper, so that's only a light one. So let's just get going and see where we end up. Because I'm using this side, I need a base. I got this in some Happy Mail, which will just about fit on here. We have a little bit of space at the top and the bottom, which I can cover with some ribbon or something. So let's just glue that one on there. Like I said, I'm just winging it today, so we're just going for it. Smoosh out the glue. I use fingers. Don't like your fingers, use a brush or whatever way you want to use to put the glue on. There we go. Haven't even put that necessarily in the middle. Now I might try and keep the backs plain, so I'm just going to rip this. Whoops. When you've glued things and your paper's still wet and you try to tear, sometimes it doesn't work so well. So make sure you either wait for it to dry or take it very carefully. Fold it a bit first and then tear it off. Just going to take it a little bit and make sure I hold the edge down nice and tight. There we go, that goes better. Not to worry, not to worry. What word should we put on this one? You're amazing speaking to me today. These I've just cut up with scissors. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut I don't know what you call it, not not straight lines. There you go. Straight lines that are not a square. That makes sense, doesn't it? There you go. So they're straight, but it's not a square. And this one's not actually that straight. So I'm just going to trim that a bit. Looks a bit wacky. So I've got a wacky shape, not a straight square or rectangle, which is perfectly fine for what? Because that's all I'm happy to do today. Oh, well, I'm there. Look, this is my little glue bottle container. So these are my glues that I put into my little bottles. It's just a cardboard container that I've chopped down and covered with some pretty paper. And then I put a little piece on the front. This was from a medicine box chopped down. And it holds my little sponge daubers. Sometimes, like you saw just then, they're not as easy to get out. That's okay. So I am going to ink this edge. Going with inked edges on this one. Mostly because I've got the black and white text. I think book page sort of screams out as being more of a heritage, old style, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to ink the edges a bit. Kind of goes in with the book page theme. Not necessarily going to always stick to that. Just glue that on there. Some normal PVA glue. These bottles are very good at very fine glue. So if you don't need, with the ones with the big long metal tip, if you don't need a lot of glue, that's what they're good for. And I'm going to make the writing kind of straight so the edges are all crooked, if that makes sense. You can see there. See? And then we might put a little bit of lace. Someone sent me this lace in a Happy Mail. Look how cute that looks. There's a little bit of book page, bit of string wrapped around, threaded through a button. And I'm not going to take that all the way off at the moment. I'm going to leave the button on there. Wrapped around. And see how cute that is? That's just so cute. This lovely little bit of lace. Put a little bit at the top. That's going to hide that edge that I've got showing through there. I'm not worried about it being a little bit off or not off. We're not aiming for perfection today. We're just going. We're just gluing. So now I'm going to use a, I should use my fabric glue. Do I have fabric glue here? Yep. I use fabric glue usually when I'm gluing on material. I find it works better. Hopefully it works. No, that's not going to work. That's okay. I haven't used my glues for a bit because I've been away helping my daughter move house. Where's my other? Can't find it. I'll just use the Tiger glue. It's a stronger PVA glue. Just have to be a bit more careful because see, it comes out really fast. So I'm just going to smooch that over the whole edge there. Put my piece of lace on there. Stretch it out to the end. Good thing with lace, you can stretch it a little bit. Make it fit. Then I'm going to put a little piece down the bottom, upside down so they mirror each other. Smooch that out a bit. I don't want a big lump of glue under fabric. You don't really want it to be visible. This one's cut a little bit long. Stretch that out a bit again. Trim that edge off. Now, these aren't my best fabric cutting scissors, but I think, see how they go. There we go. I'm going to get it in the right place, not too bad. There you go. Quick, easy little ATC. That'll be fine. I'm happy with that. Now, ATC trading card, you can make ATCs and swap them with people. If you've got no one to swap with, you can use it as a little writing card to put in your journal, or you can use it as a decoration to stick in your journal somewhere, on a scrapbook page, again, wherever you want. It's all good. Now the next one, what I might do is, what are we going to do? I'm thinking I want to use this round stamp. And I don't know why I just closed up my stamp pad, because I need that. I have some scrap card here. So I'm going to stamp a couple of these images onto my card. There we go. Second one's always better. Get a bit more ink flow happening. Press down nice and hard. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to put some onto this other card as well. Doesn't stamp as well onto this type paper. This has come from toy wrapping. Nice and hard. There we go. That'll do us for today. I don't have my rag here, so I'm just going to use a baby wipe to wipe this off a bit, and then I'll clean them properly when I'm finished. Now, next thing, does my circle punch, is this the right size for a circle punch? That's way too big, that one. Way too big. I don't know what my other ones are, so I'm just going to cut them out by hand. I'm going to cut a couple out while I'm here. So I don't know whether I want to use the darker one or the lighter one. So let your fingers do the most of the moving to get your circle a bit nice rather than all jaggedy. I'm going to be trying careful not to touch the ink too, because on this card it's going to take a little while to dry. So be careful with that. There we go. And then if you ink the edge up, oopsie, not doing well with that today. If you ink the edge up, kind of hides your imperfections of your circle a bit too. Nice little trick. Depending on what colour card you're going to stick it onto. If you stick it onto white, you'll see it's not the best cut circle, but if I stick it on a darker colour, well, stick it on when it came off, you can't see it as much. So, little tip, I'll just cut out one of these ones as well. A lot of people don't have lots of craft supplies, so doing it this way. Now, if you don't want your circle line, because it's not very straight, to not show as well, cut very close to the edge. Like if you're cutting into the dark circle, you're less likely to see your jagged edges as well, which is similar to what the inking does. That's alright. I'm just going with the flow today. Doing it fairly quick. And ink that edge as well. Should be able to touch this one by now, because that's on plain white card. There we go. Edge inked. So now I need a background, because I'm using the glossy side, and the reason I'm using the glossy side is because then I can use the back side for writing on if I want to. I need to work out a background paper. What do we want in the background? Let's use some book page again. Let's use some book page. Some pieces of book page here trimmed out, and I'm going to put it this way, vertical, just because I can. And the next one I'll attempt to do more white. Just pull that off the edge. Start smooshing the glue. And it's winter, coming into winter now and getting quite cold, so I have my heater running. And I'm not putting the butterfly on the top. I just want the text page. Someone sent me these as well. I love Happy Mail. I love making them and sending them, and I love receiving them because you get all these little different things and then you get different ideas as well. I've got my heater running, which I might actually just turn off because I don't know how loud it is in the video. And I just thought of that, so sorry about the background noise, and I will listen to it, and if it's crappy, I'm going to have to do this again, aren't I? Let's get this card done first. So if it's crappy, what I might do is start again, do an intro, do some, and then put this bit at the end. So if the sound is weird, breaks off, or something strange is happening in my video, that's why. That's why. What happens when you wing it? Well, anyway, I'm getting old. I forget to do things a lot. I am going to ink these edges because they just look like they're running off into nowhere and it's crooked. So I don't really want that to be that visible. And inking the edges is going to help make that disappear. So also in this stamp set, birds on a tree in a branch. So I'm going to put that down the bottom there. And I will stamp that onto a scrap piece of paper first. Make sure it's stamping good. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Now, when you put it on the paper, it actually goes opposite direction. So without getting my... Oops, I just bumped the camera. Sorry, guys. Camera shake. There we go. Push that down nice and hard. Woohoo! Nice. Wipe that off. And we'll put this one up here. That way. And then we'll put a word on here as well. Beautiful day. Let's use beautiful day. And I'm going to do the crooked lines again. The best part about doing crooked lines is it doesn't matter if you can't cut straight lines. And when I don't want to try and be too accurate, or if you don't have not good at cutting straight lines either, with a ruler and a blade, or with whatever method you have, then crooked lines, intentionally crooked lines. Now this came out a minute ago. Now it doesn't want to come out. Okay, let's use the tiger glue. Going to have to clean my glue bottles. Like I said, yep, I was helping my daughter moving to Whoop Whoop, so I took a load up and then helped her move it all in. And hopefully she's nice and settled now. So I'm just going to put this at the bottom here. There we go. And this at the top part. Wow, it seems so quiet now. I've turned the heater off. Wonder how much of my phone picked that up. I will find out. Okay. There we go. Next one. Nice and quick, nice and easy. Pretty little cards you can use anywhere you want. Now this one, I have some sheer ribbon here. It's not going to hide the background enough, so I'm going to need to cover the background. I have some scrap pieces of paper here. What I might use is, let's use this brown stuff. So this is just brown packaging paper from Amazon or somewhere. It's got a like a smooth backing on it, so I'm going to use my tiger glue. Cover the whole lot. I was going to do more of a white one, wasn't I? Well, it's not happening, is it? And that's because I'm covering this coloured cardboard, so we'll just scrap that idea. We're not doing white today. We're doing brown and book page. And a little piece to go. Hopefully that's big enough now that I've already torn that off. Nope. That's not going to reach either, so let's do this bit here. And then I need another little piece in the corner. Just going to smooch that glue. Tear a little piece off of here. Put that down there. And there you go. Covered your background just like that. Use my scissors to trim the edges. When you've got an edge to follow, like this original card that I've already cut out, makes it quite easy to cut your straight lines. Probably need to give my scissors a good clean too. They've been cutting gluey stuff for a while now. Let's clean them with a bit of eucalyptus oil. Helps get any sticky residue off. I think Americans, you have goof off or something like that. Do the same deal. There we go. Let's make it a little bit brighter. Leave a little sparkle wherever you go. So I need something brighter in the background. Let me try our sheer ribbon now. Trying to work out the best way to do this. Let's just trim it there. And then let's just cross it over here. Trick with this sort of stuff is how to stick it down. So the easiest way is brads. Then I won't have a clear background, but that's okay because I can either stick something over it on the background or I can stick it onto something, so I'm not actually worrying about the background. So I've got some purple ones here, and the best way to get these little ones out, I find, is to use a pair of tweezers. Sometimes that tweezers actually kind of stick to the brads and makes them easy to pull out. That's a different colour purple. That's alright, I might put that on that side and put the other two on the other side. So then you just get your awl or a pointy thing. Anything pointy, punch a hole. Or you can cut a hole with a hole punch or your crocodile. Find it just as easy to use an awl. Spread the legs on the back side. Then I use the back side of my awl to press it down. That flattens it out nicely. Put one up here. Didn't want to go through. One up there. If you wanted to, you could bunch the ribbon up like I've done on this one. Now it's probably hard to see on the camera, but it's bunched up in behind here. Now I've actually sewn over the edges. You can see on the back of this one. So I've sewn all the edges of the ribbon to hold it down nicely. In one here. See how nice and wet that one was too. The other one was hard as. And try and do it without pricking yourself too much with the brads. See, that's nice and flat. And you can trim these edges square with the card, or you could leave them hanging off a bit. So I might try. I'm going to get my sharper cutter bee scissors and do like a flag end like that, and leave them hanging off a bit. And see how I like it. I'll just do a straight edge on this one. Now, if you're worried about this ribbon pulling, depending on where it's going to go in a journal or whatever, you can burn the edges. I'm not going to worry about it now if I decide in the end to put it somewhere where it's going to get a lot of wear, like if you're going to use it to write on the back of. So if I turn this way and turn this one this way, put a couple little circles over those, you can still get plenty of writing space. So depending on where I'm going to use it eventually, I'm just going to leave the ends for now. And I'm going to use I have this double-sided stuff that I've had for, look, I can even tell you how many years I've had this. It has been a long time. So I'm just slowly using it up. And it's actually strips. So you can use each strip individually, or I usually just pull a few of them off together. You see the backing, sometimes a pain to get off. Then I can spread them over. This is just going to give it a little bit of height because this is a thick tape. You can use whatever thick tape you've got. Do one layer, do 2 layers. I usually find 1 layer is enough. You don't want them sticking up too far. And just put it all over. Make it nice and secure. Pull the back off. And I'm going to use my awl, I think. No, it's not really sharp enough. I'll get them. I have no nails. My nails are shocking. And I'm on a few different meds, and I think I've never had the best nails. I used to be a nub. Well, let's not tell a lie. I still bite my nails sometimes, but the edges of my nails are not growing. So the middle grows. It's hard to tell because it's so short at the moment. But the middle grows, but the outside doesn't. The middle grows, but the outside doesn't grow. So I have to keep them really short, otherwise they look really silly. There we go. I'm not much of a long nail girl anyway. There's a pretty purple one. Now, I think it needs a little something there. So let's see what I've got in this little storage case. Now, this is a storage case from Temu, and it's actually really good. These plastic pockets are really quite heavy duty, and so is the cover. And here is a purple butterfly just wanting to be put on there. Is there anything else I want to put with it? I have a lot of my cutout bits in Ziploc pockets, but I also have some of them in here. That doesn't quite go, does it? Let's leave it. It'll be fine. And I'm actually thinking, yeah, I was saying I have a lot of my cut-offs just in Ziploc bags. And I actually like that because I can just grab the bags that I want. That little case is really good if you don't have a lot. But I have a lot because when I'm bored sitting in front of the TV, I'll cut stuff out. So I have a lot of shapes cut out, ready to go. And you can see this little butterfly's little bottom of his tail's missing. So I'm just going to put this little flower over the bottom of his tail. So that's going to hide the fact that it's missing. Like this. There you go. How cute's that? Very cute. I think he needs a spot in the middle. Now, question is, I probably don't have a little circle handy, so I'm just going to grab a colour marker and let's see if this works. I want the brush side. There we go, purple colour marker, and I'm just going to draw a middle for the flower. And I don't want it to have an exact edge because it's a flower. Flowers don't have exact edges. There you go. Pretty. Three ATC cards, journal cards, whatever you want to call them. Done in however long this video has been. I think they're cute. What do you think? Let me know. Please like and subscribe. Come along, watch some more videos and get stuck into your art and crafting and be happy. Radio. Cheerio.